coming from a non-disclosed location near Nashville, Tennessee, we bring the Hump Day Hombres. With your host will be Molly Parks. Amis de jour de la bosse. Welcome to the 10th episode today. We have a good show. We will have a great update on treatment conclusion for the cancer treatment I've been going through. Also, an update on another review of a local activity now referred to as Music City Raceway. And then we will read another episode of the Tennessee Red Berry Tales today and conclude this episode of Hump Day Hombres today. Today actually is the end and the beginning, where today I end up of a departure from completing of 6 completed weeks of radiation chemotherapy. Though the staff from both Sarah Cannon, Minnie Pearl, and the Tennessee Oncology have been very caring and kind, providing service, I'm hoping I do not run into them for this treatment needs they provide in the future. Let me say that, clarify that. If I needed to, I would go to them because they're great and awesome. I didn't want to sound like I would never go to them. I just hope I don't ever have to, okay? So, anyway, we will have a little celebration completing this treatment after concluding my last treatment today. And the beginning is that even though there will be a monitoring going forward of ensuring no development of glioblastoma reoccurring, I'm grateful that there is a respite from the daily treatment. So, let's move on to that episode.
Here, you definitely earned that.
Okay.
There you go. You're welcome.
All right. Take care, everybody. Let's go.
Give you a hug. All right. Wish you all the best. Take care.
All right. Thank you.
Take care, Molly, okay?
Okay. So the ones, I think it's November, so that's what I booked your follow-up for. But we're gonna make sure we get the scans from September though.
Hello,
And if
how may I help
anything,
you?
any issues stand out or anything, we'll get.
Sure, yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead and read the song here. I have to read it because my eyes have been adjusted in the last couple of months. And so this is a song I wrote called Raining on My Blues. It's kind of become a little bit of a, what do you call that? Theme song. An anthem song for me. Well, we're in the darkness of night. It starts to fall right out of straighten up things. Stand tall like I'm let my light shine. Even when the rain is on. Well, when it hits me like an old freight train, I got them crazy thoughts running round through my brain. I got to let my light shine, even when it's raining on my roof. You see, I gotta remember in life there's gonna be some pain. Don't let it all just go down the drain. I gotta let my light shine, even when it's raining on my roof. Hey y'all, today we're out above the hills above Goodlettsville, Tennessee, just north of Nashville. And 8 years ago I moved and live up near Union Hill Road. And during weekends, hearing out racing somewhere near me were what were either cars or other vehicles roaring over the hill. At first I thought they might even be motorcycles, and sometimes they are. Well, about 2 miles north and west as the crow flies, you can find the raceway. This raceway is an 8-mile track. It probably would run about a quarter mile as a fairly flat surface, but then it quickly drops off, so they had to leave room for people to slow down after they did their races. The track started in 1958 and was part of the National Hot Rod Association, recognizing it very early in the progress, and then now under the auspices of the International Rot Hod Association. Music City Raceway lived through 5 name changes. It was first known as Union Hill Drag Strip. As the track shuffled through operators, it was also called Union Hill International Dragway, Music City Dragway, Music City International Raceway, and finally, Music City Raceway. So without further delay, here's a view of this last Saturday night at the Music City Raceway. Hope you enjoy it. You did it, man. Okay, I'm gonna walk over there. I'll be right back. So today I bring to you another Tennessee Redberry Tales by Bob Galbraith. And Bob copyrighted these back in 1986. In today's episode though, he's starting a new section. It's going to have two stories in it, because one's only about a paragraph long. But this section here is on the Civil War. I don't know if you can see that. So he starts out sharing with us that about the Buzzard's Roost. A point of fame and interest here at Union Hill is what we call the Buzzard's Roost, a group of large rocks and hidden passageways. It's a place to climb to the top, look over the valley below, and wonder at what occurred years ago. For it's told that during the Civil War, Buzzard's Roost was the hiding place for all the local folks' horses from the Yankees' blight. It is also said that the Confederate soldiers hid out here. Again, that was Buzzard's Roost. And now, one of the stories here is Grandpap McCaslin. Hold that around here. So, Grandpap McCaslin was a Civil War veteran who lived in the South and fought for the North. He did not necessarily like the Yankees, but he strongly believed the country should stay together. Therefore, he fought for the side that didn't want to pull the United States to pieces. Most everybody around here understood that as the story is told, after all, Grandpap was a devout Christian who attended church on a regular basis. When the war was over and folks settled down somewhere, they had revived at the church. However, the preacher they brought in showed signs of still being hot over the Civil War. He made a few snide remarks from the pulpit about Southerners who fought for the Yankees. Grandpap didn't pay much attention to him at first. He was sure he had done right by his conscience. Then the preacher said outright, "Any man who went and fought for the North was a so-and-so coward." Folks say Grandpap shot up straight in the pew and you could see the smoke starting to fly. He sat stock still through the rest of the sermon with his eyes fixed darkly on the preacher. Then, quote, "Amen," and he rushed out ahead of everyone, nearly knocking them down as he dashed out the front door. Once outside, he drew a big circle on the ground with his walking stick and stared angrily at the door, waiting for the erring preacher to come outside. When he spotted him, Grandpap hollered, "By Granny, if you think this Southerner's cowed, you just step up and inside the circle." Grandpap was a-fixin' to get himself one more preacher. Well, they say some of the brethren took over, and afterward, much effort calmed Grandpa down. It's also said that the preacher never mentioned cowards in the South again. That's some smart wisdom right there. Quit calling them people cowards. I know. It's a different era, right? Okay. Well, anyway, that's today's story. Sure will be firing up people even today. So that brings us to the end of our show today. Well, thank you for joining in. Again, I'm very happy for the outcome of completing all that radiation, or the radiation and chemotherapy, and the folks that worked with me on that. So I just want to thank you all. Thank you for many friends that have been praying for me through this, and I really appreciate it. For the good thoughts that have been sent my way over there too. So at any rate, I'm going to pass on the rest of today's show to y'all, and we'll get it on the road, and probably we'll see you again next week at Hump Day Hombres. Have a good day.